And welcome back to Pero, Podcast. Today we have an episode of Book Talk going over some subjects we'd like to share with you guys and get your opinions as well. So please grab a drink, a snack, and join us. All right, guys. So welcome to Book Talk. Welcome back to Book Talk. We're going to start off and we are going to talk about our preferred genres or what we thought our preferred genre was because we've kind of been misleading ourselves. So yeah, we thought we knew ourselves. We obviously do not.
We don't.
Collette, what is your genre that you like was your go-to or you thought was your go-to?
I thought my go-to was fantasy. But no. I do read a lot of fantasy, but my go-to is romance. I don't know when I got to that part of my life, but
like a rite of passage that we get to a certain age and it's like
maybe. But I also remember reading those when I was growing up, like the Harlequin novels, the Nora Roberts, the I can't remember the other author's name, but I read a lot of those.
Being younger and like those Fabio books, they were a big thing for the adults. So when I moved to this house, one of the neighbors across the way, they put out a box of books and it was those type of books. It was a whole bunch of those type of books.
Those Harlequin novels are pretty good.
So mine, I always thought that, notice I said I always thought like horror was I love horror. I love horror movies.
As you sit in front of Stephen King. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Halloween's my favorite holiday. Like, so when I go on my story graph and romance is on there, I'm like, oh, that's like,
yeah.
So it's a big jump, but I still love my romance. I dabbled back into it a little bit last year. This year I'm going to get more into it, but I am also embracing that romance because I really do enjoy it.
Yeah,
I really do enjoy it.
I enjoy women being loved properly. It's a delight.
And the growth that we see in those books, because they're loved properly, but in a lot of those books, they also have their own things that they have to get over to receive that love because that golden retriever is not going to stay there forever. But they stay there forever for them because they change and everything's so happy. And why wouldn't we want to read about something like that?
Right.
So I also thought I would have more magic on my genres because I love like fantasy. Okay, I get the fantasy. I like fantasy too. But I realized having a conversation with someone I didn't even know we were talking about books. I am, as much as I like fantasy, I am not a true fantasy reader, but I'm like surface level fantasy because this girl was like going in. She's like, have you read this? This is good. Da, da, da. Yeah. And you were telling me about books. I'm like, okay, maybe I just dabbled in it.
Yeah, no, I do love the high fantasy and all of that, but I have to focus.
Yes. So,
yeah.
Yeah. And that's why sometimes I struggle with fantasy on audiobooks because usually when I'm listening to audiobooks, I'm doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to like go back and like, wait a minute.
That's funny because for me, I feel like audiobooks was what works best for me. Like me having to sit and read a fantasy in my younger years was fine. As I get older, I don't know what's happening. My focus is not there. Like I'll read something and immediately forget that I read something. But if I'm listening to it and doing something mindless, I'll retain that information. I don't know what that's called. Let me know in the comments. But yeah. Is that ADHD?
Maybe. I don't think you have ADHD.
I don't think so either.
I mean, who knows? We're not doctors. Everybody's going around saying I have ADHD. I want to see the diagnosis. I'm one of so anyway, so yeah, romance definitely creeped up on my preferred genres. I didn't even like A Thief in the Night.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna change that this year, guys.
Yeah.
And also, Colette's been dabbling in some thrillers. She actually
I'm
likes,
getting there. I'm
yeah.
getting
Annie
there.
Taylor, y'all. If you need an intro to thrillers, Annie Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I read a horror this year that was like,
No, that was not a horror.
you know what I want to read though? Pet Cemetery. Someone said to not
Let's
start
do
there,
it.
but I kind of.
I mean, you're really jumping in.
Yeah, deep end.
No, I don't think you should read that.
No.
You barely go outside as it is. And you're gonna read that.
So wait, Pet Cemetery, is it like the movie or is the movie entirely different?
I don't remember the movie, and I really don't remember much of the book. That's why I said I'll read it with you. Because that was like middle school. I don't remember shit.
Why are you reading that in middle school?
Well, I told you. I read The Shining in freaking elementary.
Oh my God.
I blame my mom. She was the reader in the house. She had the books lying around.
Oh, geez. Okay.
But yeah. Yeah.
Preferred genre. Romance for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That creeped up on me. I still had mystery and dark in my thing. So, but romance creeped up on me. I'll embrace it. I'm good with that.
Totally.
One of the other things that we wanted to talk about was YA books.
Yes.
Both Collette and I, we love YA books. I
used to.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a phase of my life back when. No, let me stop. That I would look for YA books. Like read adult books, like deal with their purpose. I'm good.
Right.
I mean, now I prefer adult books. I don't know when that shift happened. But being older and reading some of these YA books, Collette was telling me about a YA book she read, and that is not a YA book
at all.
We wanted to talk about that a little bit. We have some recommendations for some true YA books that we loved. And actually, let's look up the definition of what a YA book is. Fiction primarily intended for readers aged 12 to 18, featuring a protagonist who is also in that age range, dealing with themes and emotional experience relatable to adolescents. Okay. So let's start off with the good stuff, and then we'll get into non-true. In our opinion,
should not be marketed towards YA.
My first recommendation is Divine Rivals.
That was so cute.
It was I think that was a true YA, and it had magic. It had, a little dabble of young adult romance. And the story was great.
Yes. And it was closed door.
Yeah. Did they even meet? They met, but I don't think they even got to get to that part.
The first book, yeah.
Did they? Again, guys, see how I don't remember stuff?
They got married. You forgot? In the house.
Is that in book 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Got married in the book that I read 2 years ago. It's okay. True YA,
I remembered it because and this is how I knew that the books were getting away. And I'm not a prude, y'all. But I remember I was like, oh, they're going to get married. It's going to be sex. And I just can't. And then it was closed door. And I was so relieved because I was like, I don't need to know what y'all doing. I don't need to know.
Remember that.
But I just thought it was super cute the way they did it.
It was a cute
book. I appreciate it.
I know you guys might not believe me now because I don't remember that scene, but it was a cute book.
It was super cute.
Oh, go ahead.
And then for me, a true YA that I recently read was Love Radio by what's her name? Ebony LaDelle. Again, I just want to say the only reason it didn't get 5 stars is because I thought they were adults. I was unaware they were kids. But I loved it. I felt like it was nostalgic YA, like when we were in school 20 years ago. Jesus.
More
It's been
than
over
that.
20 years, but yeah. But those type of books where it just felt really good. And okay, I understand that Liz read her definition of a YA, but to me, YA books are coming of age books.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got from Love Radio.
I agree with that. Like for me, a perfect example of a true YA coming of age is a Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. That's a true YA. Yes. It had its romance, but it was very YA. It was very much
figuring yourself out, what you want to do.
Oh God, that book was, I recommended it to Collette.
Yeah.
It was such a good book, such a good read. Okay, so A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Namey. True YA, all the way across the board. Yeah. I loved it. I loved it. So
because I feel like a lot of these kids are so bratty in the books and they feel like they have the world on their shoulders, but I feel like there's a way to write that without them being a nuisance, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like for instance, in Blood Debts, that girl was a teenager. I wanted to fight her.
Yeah, but that was that
is true YA, but I wanted to fight her.
Yeah,
whereas
adults now. But if you would have read that,
but reading that, no, because reading Cuban's Girl Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, I read that last year or the year before.
She wasn't a brat.
Not like that girl in Blood Debts.
No, I know, but think about let's talk about this. Think about reading that when you're in high school. Let's say you're in 10th grade reading that.
I wouldn't have liked it then either.
You don't think so? I would have been like, she should have slapped her.
I remember reading one of my favorite. Now, this was also marketed as YA. We can use this as an example. This is not a YA. Omar Tyree. Flyy Girl. It's not a YA. It was not a YA. But I remember thinking, because she was fucking in that book. But like that was a true representation of some of the girls that were in school or at that age that thought, oh, I look good, I'm supposed to have the cute boyfriend, I'm gonna need to be popular, and their whole focus was high school, not life after. So I understood it, but the material in the book, no, it's not for kids. That was not for kids. But the other one that I read was like last year or the year prior was Reggie and Delilah's Year of Falling by Elise Bryant. That is a true YA. And I felt like even when she talked about Delilah is a biracial in the book, and she talked about being a part of two communities but never feeling accepted. And I was like, wow, for me as a 40-year-old woman to understand that and be like, you know what, as a firstborn American, having parents that came here in their 20s, so all they know or what they were accustomed to is Jamaican life, and then having to raise you here in the US, so your experience growing up is not like a Black American experience because you're raised by Jamaicans, but then you have your Black American friends that's like, you don't do this? No, that's not. So, but then if I go to Jamaica, it's like, you don't do this?
You're not real Jamaican.
No. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, I get it. I understood it.
Yeah.
No, that was a true YA.
Yeah. That I like that.
Yeah. It was a really cute book though.
A book that gives you a different perspective and you're able to understand it, empathize with it. Yes. That's a great author.
Yes.
That is a great author because you could write words on a paper and somebody can read it, not feel the emotion behind it, and they're still a good author for some people, but a great author, you understand it, you feel it, you see the perspective, you might not agree with it, but
And to go off on a little tangent, that's how I feel about Antoinette Sherrill, because how she writes Relic,
he
is morally gray, but you understand him. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
You don't have to agree with everything he does, but you can see why he does what he does.
Yep. It's like that saying that they said that people only know your decision. They don't know the options you were given. That goes to Relic. That, you know, because in his, I haven't even read the books, but I know of Relic from what I read from Treasure's book.
Yeah.
And even then, unhealed young Liz is like,
yeah. Yeah.
But when you know what lifestyle he lives and all that, and I haven't even gotten to the thick of his books, it's kind of like, you shouldn't have done that, but I understand.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you guys have any true A,
YA.
Yeah.
I got you, girl.
Teamwork makes the dream work. So if you guys, yeah.
Let me give you an example of a book that is not YA.
Yeah.
That is marketed.
Oh my God, yes. How did we not even start this? Go ahead.
Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. And y'all know I love that series.
I wouldn't even read it.
That is not, my niece is 18. She can't read that. She better not ever pick up that book in front of me. No, that is not for children. There was so much trauma in that book. I cried a lot in that book. Listen, no, I'm not a crier, but there's a lot of trauma, the way they handle things, the things that those kids are going through. And I understand that children go through it, but it's more like trauma porn than it is a YA. That's not for the faint of heart. And then when they get into the brother story, no.
I think it is a little bit hard for YA because it's like, what happens to the kids that are going through those, like those type of experiences?
No, because Perks is being a wallflower.
Oh yeah. First of all, in the movie, I did not know that that's what happened to him. It wasn't until I read the book a few years ago that I was like, that's what happened to him?
Yeah, they glossed over that.
I watched the movie again and I was like, I still like.
Yeah,
true. I get in a YA, you don't need to go into description of those situations.
I agree. And I feel like that's where I don't want to say she went wrong because it was still a good book. You know, I ate those books up, but it was a lot. And if you're not from that, if you didn't grow up with that, like, I don't even have the words. That was a lot of shit. Because even when they were talking about how the dad beat her so bad that he punctured a lung, she like, it was in a lot of detail about it. So again, I'm not saying that kids don't go through that, but at the very least, you need what are they called? Trigger warnings. Like,
it didn't have it at the beginning.
Girl, I don't read that shit. If they did, no. But my point is that's marketed towards YA. And as a parent, if I'm saying, oh, my child wants to read, this looks good, they can have it because it's a cute little cover, I'm none the wiser about what the content of what's in that book.
And now the cover that you showed me, and we'll put it up here for you guys to see, was that the first original cover to the book? Or okay. Okay.
And then that's why they switched it to the second cover. So y'all see the covers on the screen. But yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, these are adults. I had no, and even the way that the people talked about it, when people gave reviews on Book Talk, which is why I stopped taking reviews off of Book Talk, because y'all weird. You described it as this romance that they fell in love and they had to work through stuff to get to where they are. And I'm thinking adults. I don't think kids, teenagers have to work through a lot. And I'm not saying they don't have to, but 9 times out of 10, you really not having to work through a lot. You at home with your parents taking care of you. What are you working through? You know, the way they described it. And then it was like, and then when they finally did do it, I don't want to read about kids having sex.
Me neither.
There's another reason why I didn't want my niece to read it, because I didn't feel like it gave a correct representation of what it is to lose your virginity, and this is no, that's not everyone's experience. So I just feel like, what's your question?
Do you feel that when that stuff is written into YA books descriptively, it promotes promiscuity within the younger? No,
because these kids hunching.
Yeah.
But I think that it gives a false sense of hope or belief of what your first time should be or will be. And I feel like, if I'm being honest, I feel like a lot of parents don't like having the uncomfortable conversation. So parents aren't talking to the kids about what it is, and then they're reading these books and they think that this is what it's going to be. And then you have sex, and that's not what it is. Or the guy is not the best guy for them, and they feel pressured. And I'm not just saying guys pressure girls or anything like that, because we know it's the other way around as well. But, just having those experiences, I feel like the way it was written in the book, it makes you feel like nothing else exists except for that person. And as you get older, you realize you have other things to worry about as well. I just feel like it's a little bit skewed when you're talking to kids, because all they're seeing is what you're showing them, and they're not able to see the full picture.
Yeah. That makes sense.
True. But
True.
I still love the book.
Yeah, she's tried to get me to read it. Did Melissa ever read it?
No, Melissa would never. But Debbie did, and Debbie loved it. Debbie actually got further than me. I was like, dang, girl, I need to catch up. Because there's like 6 books in the series. I only read 4. But the second set, because the first 2 follows Shannon, her girlfriend, and then the second 2 books follow her brother, her older brother, that was in a house with her, and he was constantly fighting the dad or whatever, trying to protect the younger siblings. But to read his story, that's when I had to stop, because I was just like, yo, this is a lot. It was a lot. Even explaining his first time having sex, he ended up having to go to therapy, like as a state mandated type thing. And the therapist was like, so I know you think because you're a guy, you were supposed to do it that way, but you understand that that was coercion. You were forced into sex. So when he's telling it from his perspective as the story progresses, and then he's having a conversation later on in the book with the therapist, and I like the way she wrote that, because it was like, I didn't even look at it that way. I just felt like they're kids. That's what they do. But when I read it, when the therapist was talking about it, I was like, yeah. So I still like it. Kids don't need to read that shit though. Yeah.
Now, is that a book that you would say would be one to read for comprehension or entertainment?
I went into that book for entertainment. That should have been read for comprehension, with comprehension. Because having to read it, I had to reread the first book before I went into Keeping 13. So I read Binding 13. I went into, and the way it ended, God, the way it ended, and then I went into Keeping 13. I was like, wait, there's no way. You need to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You read the book, or you did the audio?
I read the book.
Oh, okay. Because I remember it was on Audible Plus for a while, and they took it off when they did all those changes.
Yeah.
Are there books? So one of the other things we wanted to talk about was when reading, sometimes we read for entertainment, comprehension
is needed.
Or like for me, there's books that I could read and it's purely entertainment. Like I could but then there's books that I have to like sit down, digest. I have to focus on what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, sit with it, allow myself to feel whatever. And it's definitely like for me, fantasy is like unless it's one of those like cozy fantasies, a fantasy I'm reading for comprehension. Like I'm focusing.
Yeah.
I have the entertainment value there because I'm enjoying the book.
And we just want to point out, when we say fantasy, we mean real fantasy, and that's not disrespect to romantasy, but romantasy is focused on the romance, and then there's fantasy elements.
Thank you for
we're talking about
because it's a big difference for me. It's a big difference when I don't mind a fantasy book that there's romance sprinkled in it, but when that becomes just as important or more important than the plot, like it's not right. I want the fantasy aspect. I want taking over kingdoms and fighting and
yes.
That guy's cute over there and we might have, a little hookup and stuff, but that's like a page, half of a page, and we continue on our battle.
Yes.
So what are books that you like that you prefer for entertainment?
So I wrote down Phantasma, but if I'm being honest, Ursa Dax has me in a chokehold, and that's entertainment.
Yes, but I have to agree with her. I am not as far into the Ursa Dax universe as Collette is. Those are funny books.
Yeah.
Tell us about your little alien journey.
So, and it's so funny because my mother-in-law is actually reading the same series as me. And I was telling her.
Pause. Because I'm going to stand up for Miss May. I just think it's funny that Mike, Colette's husband, and Collette clown the beautiful Miss May.
Clown her all the time.
That she reads. And then here comes Collette just skipping through the house, going to tell Miss May about a wonderful book she thinks that Miss May would like.
The scene.
Go ahead.
Work. And I went in the office because I was like, I need to talk, and you're here. So I was like, yo, you love those books where it's like, because we be ragging on the titles. Because the thing that we rag on her about are she picks these like weird title books, like The Lichen Mate's Moon Goddess Mate. What? Like, those are the books she likes to read, which we're not knocking that because I'll read them.
No.
I will read them.
It's all fun, love.
Yeah. So I went in there, I was like, yo, I think you would really like this. And she was like, oh, well, the one I'm reading right now, her friends were on a spaceship and they landed and they got into a fight. I said, Ursa Dax. She said, yeah, I love Ursa Dax. I was like, that's who I was telling you to come read. We were reading the same series. But that is entertainment for me. And again, like I said, you can actually learn something from it. If you saw our previous book review for Alien Tyrant, like she was talking about making a sunscreen, on that planet. And she was looking at rocks. And I was like, girl, nobody looking at no damn rocks to make sunscreen. So I had to Google it and I was incorrect.
Looking at rocks for sunscreen.
Right. I was like, oh, my bad.
Hey.
So that book is entertainment to me. And that's not to say it's poorly written or anything like that, but it's a good time. I don't have to really focus or use brain power or any of that. It is super funny. It's a delight to my soul.
I listened to the first one on Audible Plus and enjoyed it tremendously. Yeah. The narrators were great. The story was great. Ursa knows what she's doing. Great author. She knows what she's doing. So if you ever want anything that you just want to laugh at.
Yeah, my sister Debbie read it. And she was like, that book was funny. I was like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
But then you have books that you need to actually focus and pay attention to. Like The Will of the Many.
Yeah. I haven't read that yet.
I'm glad I went back and reread that book before I went into the second book because I would have been lost. But that book has a lot, and I missed a lot, I realized, when I went back and did my reread, because that book has a lot of information, and I feel like that's where a lot of people might lose interest because of today. I hear a lot of people like, I need you to grip me from the first page, and I'm like, you got to calm down. You have to know how to build a story. And so you might think it's dragging But then when you get to the end of it, it's like, oh, he set all the breadcrumbs to get to this point. It's called a build-up, a climax, if you will.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Tell them.
And the comprehension you need, the comprehensive level you need, and the way he's able to imagine things. Fantastic series. What about you, Liz? What do you read for entertainment?
Romance. Actually, no. My top pick for entertainment is a thriller, because I'm a very like, why are they saying that? What? Why did he go over there? Why did she check the mailbox?
Let me tell you about Liz. Liz does that for every single genre. It don't matter what it is. She's suspicious of everybody and everything in every single book. Okay? Liz got a question. Like, even when we were reading Lessons from a Hidden Treasure, Liz was like, who's this Che character? Is he gonna kill her? I was like, girl, he's just trying to flirt with her. Calm down.
I like that. I like the trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's why when you give me a psychological thriller and there's a twist and I don't see it coming, that's a good book, because I'm breaking it down from page 1.
Yeah.
Everybody's the murderer from page 1.
Yeah.
So that's my entertainment. That's my top, like, now some of them, I have to pay attention. Some of them I have to pay attention to a little bit more. But yeah, romance is another one that I could read for entertainment, because for those, they're, girl meets boy, blah 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 blah. And honestly, the way life happens for me and for other people, like, we want to get away from the reality of what we're going through. So romance, thriller, because right now, knock on wood, but I'm not trying to figure out a murder in real life. So like, that's entertainment. Now, horror, when I go for a horror book, I have to sit, because I'm reading that for the horror aspect, and I can't glaze over. If I want to feel that fright, I have to, like, really.
Like when I read The Whisper Man, I Won't Let It Go by Alex North.
I need to read this.
A really huge author. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that book, a lot of people recommend it. I haven't read it yet.
It was on KU. I don't know if it's still on there when I read it. And let me tell you something. My anxiety was on 1,000. And I haven't read a horror since.
Well, besides the one that you listened to.
Yeah, but and no shade to that book, but I was okay with it. It wasn't scary. Like that book that Alex North had, heart palpitations. I had all the lights on.
One book that did get me, The Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. That one, not that I was like scared to go to sleep or anything, but I was like, damn. It's a ghost story. It's good. It's good if you want to dabble in a little horror ghost story. Joe Hill. That's Stephen King's son, if you didn't know, by the way. I think I have some. Yeah. I love him.
So for that, for me, my entertainment is usually, romance. No, I like the Ursa Dax of it all as far as entertainment. Like that, I like the suspended belief element.
Yes.
For my entertainment. A romance I'll pay a little bit more attention to. But comprehension, where I have to actually focus on what's being written and pay attention to all of it, is usually my high fantasy books. The Rage of Dragons, The Will of the Many, Red Rising, all of those type of books. Those are like, what's happening? Who said what now? Like, I have to pay attention to those. But I love them. And then I also realized, talking to Liz, those books, it's better for me to listen to them than to actually read it.
To me, now, if I listen to it, I have to be sitting down, coloring, or just sitting down and listening to the book. I cannot be doing something else.
Yeah.
working, I have to, cooking, because that's kind of like autopilot for me. But I have to be paying attention if I'm listening to it, because I'll zone out.
Yeah.
I do better reading high fantasy, than I do listening to it.
So, you know what throws me? Okay. So I realized throwing me out are the words. I get stuck on the words as opposed to the story, and I don't know why that is. So let me give you an example. My sister, she listens to audiobooks. That's how she reads, because she's a mother of 3 and a wife, and she does all that. She does a lot. So we were talking about The Will of the Many. She listened to the audiobook. I read it. So she was like, oh yeah, so like when C-Roar came through, he said XYZ. And I'm like, girl, who was that? And then she wrote the name down. I was like, oh, I think you mean this. And I spelled it, because if you're listening, you don't know how to spell the name. But I read it, so I know how to spell it. And I was like, first of all, his name is Career. So I don't know. But here's the thing. When I was reading the book, I was stuck on that. I was like, what is this? How do you say this? I'm calling you Career. That's your name.
Manon.
Manning.
Which, in Colette's defense, as much as I gave her a hard time, it is Manning, according to the Scottish people, which is where, Scottish or Irish. But yeah, it's Manning. That's how they pronounce it over there.
Yeah.
In Europe, or it originated from. So it's not Manning.
So for me, if I'm reading the book, I get stuck on those.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It shouldn't be such a focal point, but if it's their name and then they're saying their name, I can't. But if I hear it, so.
Yeah. No, it's, I could say the same. Like fantasy, I just have to focus on that. Yeah. But that is our book talk episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts about anything we talked about, please let us know below. Let's have a conversation. We appreciate you guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.